So I'd love to give an overview on what we're doing. Leo, if you want to talk about the products in the armory that Shiburai is developing, and roughly speaking, when we'll be done. And then also, if we can talk about the dynamic access fund, and then maybe we'll go into the burn after that. Sound good?
That sounds good for me. Are
All
we?
right. So do you want to start talking about the products in the armory?
Yeah, most certainly. So we've just launched recently, and we're already into our roadmap for development. We've just about finished all the contracts necessary for our token security part of the armory, which consists of our uh, token locking mechanisms, investing, including LP pairs, and creating ETH wallets, whether that be for wheels or um, just as a way to secure funds into a wallet until a predetermined date. So that's just about taken care of, and we're getting into contact right now with auditing services, Chain Salting and Solidity Finance to take a look and verify the security of those contracts. Um, we've just began the development of our Shiburai Armory swap. Um, we finalized on the name Fuji Swap, and so for everyone here, that's
We did.
we've just released the name today.
Fuji Swap is coming very soon in the next couple of weeks.
And our focus is to have a cross-chain swap. We're beginning on Ethereum and then migrating to other EVM compatible chains. We want to have a unique fee structure that really focuses on incentivizing liquidity providers. Um, we have a unique feature for the fee where our community, through governance, will vote on supporting either an upcoming token or one that's recently launched, and we'll siphon fees into that project in a way to sponsor them on our AMM. And we'll also be rewarding our Shiburai holders with part of those fees as well. And we'll get all the details and numbers as the contracts deploy and we update our roadmap on the precise details regarding that.
I hope that's exciting for folks. Our new decentralized exchange is coming rapidly. And our token locking investing. So this means we're going to have a competitor with Unicrypt. Unicrypt has, of course, has a cost. Team Finance mostly free. The Shiburai locker is a mix, and we feel like it's going to be competitive, quite competitive, because of the facility and the ability to customize it. So that's going to be ready with the swap. If you're looking at the white paper at shiburai.app, you'll notice that's most of what we plan to accomplish. We have a number of things coming after that. Maybe it makes sense to pause here and ask questions on development. Does anyone have questions on the things we are developing right now? Token locker, vesting, swap, and there's a DAO on the armory.
Yeah, I am. I mean, just candidly, I think a lot of people on the call, and people that may be listening in would probably just like general. What is Shiba Samurai? All these things that you're talking about. How did that come to fruition? Really highlight that to me and explain these different parts of the project and what that means for the token and your holders moving forward. Just treat me like a noob or a norm, as they call it in this world. But as we have folks listen in, I'd just like your average investor to really understand the project as a whole, tokenomics and everything like that as well, please.
Absolutely. So most people right now use Uniswap for ETH contracts, ERC contracts. We're building a new Uniswap. It's going to be done rather soon in the next week to 2 weeks. We have a number of committed developers who are going to create projects on it. It's going to create fees, and those fees are going to continue to contribute to our dynamic access fund. Currently, we have raised about $500,000. We're going to keep raising that money. We're going to invest that money and return it to holders. So you're going to be able to easily lock up your wallet to a dashboard and go ahead and get your money from our investments. So basically speaking, there's two real interesting utilities to what we're doing. So there's a third and a fourth, but the two big ones, which is one is we're raising money for this dynamic access fund, split into 4 groups. So as we raise money, we're going to spend money on high risk endeavors, low risk endeavors, access-based endeavors, so IDO platforms and making sure the little guy can get in there and new tokens and such, and then bot development, trading bots, Telegram bots, all kind of bots. So that's the money we're raising is then going to be, well, right now it's being invested and put into concerns, and that's being voted on by the community, and then it's being returned to holders in a faucet style. So on the other side of this, we're looking at development. So Leo is a very capable developer, and I can yell things at him about how I want it to be. So we have a good relationship in this way, and we're building a new decentralized exchange, a new Uniswap, truly decentralized, to be honest. We have our druthers and how it's going to be built. I don't know, Leo, if you want to talk more specifically about it, but we are actually building a new Uniswap that we are definitely going to drive a great deal of volume to, including our own consulted projects, our friends' consulted projects. We have a number of developers we talk to. They're all going to use it. So this means we're going to have an increase in fees. Uniswap a couple days ago pushed a new update. It caused a v3 interface issue with their router. And so for the umpteenth time, we've had to go and scramble and figure out what Uniswap has done with their router. So we're done with that. It is a hard fork of Uniswap, to be perfectly clear, but we're having a new interface. And Leo, you maybe want to talk about this, but the point is that's going to clear us up from these router issues. So I hope that's exciting to you. So what that means is over time, through marketing dollars, which we have coming through the Shiburai, and we also have our own money we're going to put into this, we plan on driving behavior. If you look at ApeSwap, I think Leo will also back me up on this. They did a great job migrating liquidity from PancakeSwap for good reason. Big rewards for LP for liquidity providers. So I think there's also a competitive fee structure, and there's an element of marketing. And obviously, it's marketing. So Leo, I would love to pause soon and let you kind of tag on to what I'm saying. But basically speaking, products are basically done. Fees are coming in that will support Shiburai's growth. And Leo, if you want to tag on.
Sure. And to step back just for a second to address Taylor's point to our motivations with this project. We're really trying to carve out a way in DeFi for people to come together as a community in a trusted space. If you have a chance to read through our white paper, we talk a lot about how important it is to incentivize people to hold Shiburai, to come together, participate in forms of governance and content generation, and we have lots of contests and rewards that we have made available. And so when you buy into Shiburai, you're joining our community, and our whole focus is to hear your voice, to guide our project and governance through proposals and voting, and then to implement our dynamic access fund to reward you in these various components, and which includes our swap, which generates fees, our token vesting contracts, which as Moon had mentioned, as BC had mentioned, is going to be very competitive, offering both free and paid for services, as well as many avenues of investment with various risk factors. The Launchpad access from the Dynamic Fund includes gaining access to IDO platforms, as well as lands and NFTs inside of different metaverses. We plan on having a presence in those varying metaverse partnerships that we forge. And that ways our community can have access to many of the flourishing features right now in DeFi.
So guys, any questions on that?
No, I think I got it right there. Just quick question real quick. How many people are on the core team as of right now? Is it UVC, Leo, Tala, and who else?
Roughly speaking, on the core team, there's about 5 of us. If we're talking full-time equivalents.
Got it. And but before this launch, was there a raise you said? But before this, and if so, how much?
Are you talking about a pre-sale?
Yeah, for pre-sale, a seed round.
I would like to talk about the seed round. The seed round was modeled on Shinja, which hit $1 billion market cap in about 3.5 weeks. A great deal of the model has been based off of that and some other friends. and we have done a lot of legwork to get the right folks in. That makes sense. There's an and there are very intense sell rules for the backers of the project. Should they violate, they're out. The katana comes down, and you'll notice a few have been.
Yeah, totally. You really have to be diligent, structuring those in the seed rounds and for the betterment of the project. That's why I like to always, really ask. And it sounds like, you've done that. So in terms of the team, just, as we're moving forward with the call and kind of getting into questions, one of the things I always like to ask is, how do you guys get paid? Is it through the actual tokenomics of the project? Is it strictly vesting, that you're, investor of the project? Explain to me a little bit how that works.
Sure. So basically speaking, in a market like this, my dad's a startup guy. My uncle's a venture capitalist, very successful. And so for me, what makes a lot of sense is rapidly growing foundations in a sprawling city that hasn't been built, So rapidly trying to create bottom of the funnel solutions that become top of funnel. And so, that's really what we're focused on, to be honest. And we feel like Shiburai is a tool set. We've developed a platform for DeFi, and now we're developing a tool set for Shiburai, essentially for us for life. I think Leo and I will both talk about the fact that we've already supported DeFi for a long time. We plan to be here for a long time. And the plan is for us to continue to develop tools through Shiburai. I don't know if that actually answers your question. Do you mind reframing the question?
Sure. Yeah. So, you and your core team, everybody, obviously, if you're working at a business, you make money. So my question is, throughout, in the project, how do you make money? Right? Like, not as an investor, but like as a team. So for instance, if, we're talking to some devs have a dev that's in the wallet or a marketing.
So I want to address this directly. I have been in DeFi for years, and I honestly think I don't think it's the right way to go when you're investing in the bottom and selling the top, to be perfectly honest. So 2% out of the 5% going to marketing and development. Make sure that Leo and I are completely taken care of as we scale this. So there's 2% of all transactions, making sure that we are fostering and being a good steward of all the money coming in. I feel really strongly about it. But at the end of the day, we're opening up voting, and Leo and I are in DeFi for life. So it's, we're really open to what people think. But if I was being very smart, I would continue the model. Roughly speaking, 2% goes to keeping us very happy and growing this forever.
Absolutely. And I mean, honestly, it's fair, right? Like, that's what's going to incentivize you to keep going along with your dream, right? And what you've built, you have to, be paid at the end of the day. So I just like to ask that because, it's important to teams to be paid.
Important.
Yeah. So,
and I hope that we're being paid enough to be happy and grow it. And we are. And we've also had friends experience negative consequences, and we don't want anything like it. So we're very focused for years now, and more vocally recently, on providing solutions for DeFi and making sure everyone knows that it's safe. It is.
Sweet. So yeah, just moving forward from there, really amazing project. I'll give it to you. When I first started looking into it, it's like, oh, it's Shiba, another Shiba here. And I started really getting into the white paper. It's well written, hopped on a couple of VCs with the team, and just, overall was really blown away with what you're doing and how much you've done so far. So with that said, in the scaling process, and we just got done talking about money. So, I mean, looking at the chart, looking at, everything, obviously there's been money made. So that scaling process right now, with the marketing dollars that are probably on hand, with the extra, income in the reserves, right? That capital, what are you planning to do to scale this project further, to, maybe attract other investors, like AMAs like this, right? Or what other things can you announce for us tonight?
Well, it may not seem real, but Fuji Swap is going to be quite real for your clicking pleasure in a week to 2 weeks. Leo is prolific. So in other words, less than 2 weeks away, there's a new swap. A lot of developers that you maybe know or don't know, maybe they're docs or not docs, blah, blah, blah. They're going to be on there, and you're going to see projects launching. And fees are going to be coming through the DEX, the token locker, and the vesting schedule. So we already have about $500,000 raised, not in the development fund. This is in the dynamic access fund. Well, my conservative projection by early February 1st is 2.5 million, based on what we're looking at. So go ahead.
No, I was just saying, right. So you're looking at Q1 at that amount with the swap being launched and everything else rolling out, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, cool. Very, very good. Go ahead.
Yeah, Leo and I are not going to give long-term projections on where we're headed because my uncle's a venture capitalist again, and I've worked with his firm, and I could put in a bunch of numbers, and you guys would be happy, but they're not real. And we're very interested in DeFi and doing a good job, under-promising and over-delivering. So, what I would say is it's a new decentralized exchange. It's not Unicorn Swap. It's not Pancake Swap. It's Fuji Swap. And we have a lot that's already pre-committed to launching on it. 5 contracts already, and we're going to have another 20 soon. So it's going to be an active swap, and we're going to do quite a bit to promote it. And then those fees coming back are going to benefit the token, the project, and the holders directly.
The fees coming back. That's what I was looking for. VC was the fees coming back. That's a good stream of revenue. You're going to have that many, projects on there leveraging your ecosystem and getting traction off of that in dollars, right? And converting that back to a token, however that works, increasing that liquid pool. That's going to make the project better. So that's kind of where I was going with that and what your plans were. Thank you for saying that. That's good to hear.
Yep.
And just
so it's not fully clear, right? There's $500,000 in the DAF right now that we haven't touched. So we plan on building these things. We plan on using these things. The marketing dollars are being spent, and we're growing quickly. It's the case that we're only a week old. You can't get to 1 billion market cap in a week like this, but we can, relatively soon. To be not financial advice, but that's sort of we're really focused on growing the project because we want eyes on what Leocus is developing. He won't say this, Paula won't say this, I will say this. Leo is a person who's made things you've used, and we're gonna now make sure he is benefiting the most from these things. So as we scale DeFi, as Telegram seeks to monetize your data and make ads on Telegram, I'm 34 years old. I've been in marketing for 15 years. It's the case that I dropped out of Brandeis University and started a company and made a bunch of money and have been doing things since. It's the reality. Leo is the other reality is that Leo has probably made things you might have encountered. And so we're really excited to build our own and make sure it's positive for DeFi, and that as router updates are going on, nobody's randomly thrown away, into the trash bin, as it were. So we're really excited about that. In case you don't know, guys, Uniswap recently pushed an update. It messed with reflection tokens on V2 because of their V3 interface. So it is the case that if you're new to this talk here, we are going to be doing a hard fork, but it's the case that it's a different interface, and it's going to limit or reduce or completely get rid of those router issues in reflection V2 tokens. So we already have a bunch of pre-committed assets. We're really excited about it, and that's where we're headed with the DEX.
I'd like to just point out too, as part of our incentive, we mentioned the fees being returned to our holders. We also have plans to have a portion of those fees be incentivized towards projects moving their liquidity or launching on our swap as well. I'm not familiar with a swap right now that puts a portion of their fees to sponsor other projects directly.
Right.
And we hope that's a unique feature that does gain some attention.
It definitely will.
Any
other questions?
Yeah, I agree it will. And then now I want to open it up for our core team and our deal flow committee to ask some questions for you.
Great.
So go ahead.
I will start then, or well, maybe they have other things to say. I think I cut him. Go ahead.
We're just waiting for questions.
Okay. I will start. You have a lot of things going on, and I have seen different projects who take ages to just come up with one single features. So I was pretty impressed with the amount of work that you have done. You talk about the 5 person in a core team, but in total, how many people are working on a project? How many developers? Because it seems
Developers,
to,
actual developers.
yeah,
You mean people writing code?
yeah.
Oh, it's basically just Leo. And you've
Oh,
used a lot of
really?
things he's already made. You're sort of speaking to the
Okay.
mad scientist, sir.
Okay, because it seems a huge amount of work for just one person.
He's
Just
prolific. I agree.
yeah, it seems to be. About the dynamic access fund, I heard about this kind of new Uniswap. Now,
It's just a DEX.
I
Lots of people
cannot.
have decentralized exchanges, sir. Lots of people launch them. Yep. Ours will be different, of course, but lots of people have DEXs. Yep.
In this particular case where you have all these features, I see the dynamic access fund. How do you map all this good stuff with the chart at this moment? Because I was just looking to buy,
Fair.
and that's what I will do at the end of this call.
Fair.
But
So
how do you map this?
can you
Because
look
it
at
doesn't make
V1,
sense
sir?
to me.
Yeah, totally. I understand. So V1, we launched at 10 cents and went to $28, and the chart is completely beautiful. And in
Yeah.
the middle of it, Uniswap launched an update. And when we did our burn, it caused a clog. So we had to go to V2. Even though V1 worked, it just took a while to work. So it's one of the main reasons we are launching our new DEX. If you look at our V1, it's beautiful. If you look at our V2, it understands, you can understand why we're consolidating around 50 to 80x. We launched at 10 cents, right? So it's up at $8, and this is 4 days in, 5 days in. So if you're a real
I was
trader, which
waiting for the
sounds like you are,
consolidation to understand where to buy. So
yeah, no, I honestly,
that was my point.
we're
I'm waiting
trying
to.
to do the best. Don't put me in that spot, but it's obvious that this is a buy range. I don't know, man.
And another question about the dynamic fund: how do you secure the access to the money? Because we have seen a ton of token where people live with the actual money, whether for marketing or for buyback or whatever. How you do secure it? That's a pretty big amount of money.
Yep, for sure. Here's an interesting story. So we launched eViral. Viral is one of the things I can talk to you about. We've done other things under MNDA you don't know about, but you know about eViral. And as it was going up to its all-time high, the chart on DEX tools did not work for about 5 days. So it caused a great deal of FUD and a big dump. And we stuck with it. We never leave. When we build something, we build. We just keep building. We don't care. And we have the resources to stick with it.
Okay. I have another question because as you seem to work a lot, who is the guy in the team who actually sleep?
I'm
Because
a Buddhist, bro. We don't need sleep. All right.
Nah.
Leo
Really?
sleeps a lot.
No
Leo's
one?
got 2 kids. He sleeps plenty. It's all good.
Okay. I was asking because only in the successful projects I have seen, there is always a guy who sleep to take the right decisions. So I'm always
Leo
curious
makes
to
the
see
right-
who in
there
the
you go.
team.
Okay, all right. Jeez, a little harsh, brother. Yeah, I don't sleep much. I do work a lot. I'm very passionate about it. It's I don't know. I don't think it has to do with my brain not being correctly calibrated, as you're suggesting. But look up whatever. Yeah, Leo and I both sleep plenty, brother.
Okay, perfect. So that's all for my question. Thank you very much. It's a beautiful project. So I will just look at my funds and what I can unlock to buy your own token. So,
Thank you for the
thank you.
question, JP.
Hey, VC.
Hello.
Hey, it's Michael.
Hey, Michael. How we doing?
I'm doing well, my man. Doing well. So I wanted to bring up the question relative to your NFTs and your armory, because I do see here when you look at the roadmap, it talks about the NFT artwork and then how there's going to be a first generative NFT collection, and that the NFT, if I'm understanding correctly, is going to essentially be the DAO. Is that correct?
Almost, yeah. So the idea with the NFTs is that we're going to look at file types, customized file types, and allow them to be imported into various metaverses and our own. That way you can Shiburai up with the kimono, with the katana and kabuto, with everything you need. The DAO aspect of Shiburai is engaged, at least minimally right now, in terms of voting. If you have a V2 balance, head over to shiburai.app, go down to proposals and voting, and vote. We have liquidity proposal there right now. So in terms of just basic, very, very basic governance, we're using Snapshot. Leo, do you want to talk about this at all? I know you have big plans.
sure.
I feel bad talking about it. Yeah, go ahead.
So also concerning the NFTs, we're going to have tiers of governance, starting with just simply holding a balance of Shiburai. And to gain access to our NFTs, they'll only be able to mint by our Shiburai holders as well. And our first generative NFT collection, this set of kimonos that are going to be coming out, they will only cost the gas fee, and you have to burn 1 Shiburai. So just to prove you own and are a holder, you have to give up just 1 Shiburai, and that'll gain you access to the kimono. And having successive sets of armor to add to your collection will give you various boosts, whether that's through the imbuement, which is our NFT staking process, or a small boost in governance, such as maybe holding the Kabuto helmet only grants you access to specific groups, or then allows you to make proposals on your own rather than having to use a chain of command approach. And so, yeah, we're looking at different features to implement through our different tiers of NFTs, and we definitely want them available exclusively to our holders. And yeah, so upcoming first is our kimono collection.
That's exciting. Okay, cool. So you guys have the NFTs that kind of grant exclusive access, essentially. Now, I do see here on your roadmap it does mention nodes. Are you guys looking to create a mining system for yourself and holders, or is, like, how is that going to work down the road? Because I see
think
that
we need to be, let's be perfectly clear. We don't know. I want to be very, very clear on this, Leo. We are looking at nodes, guys. There's a lot with nodes, and there's a good way to lose money. So, Leo, do you want to talk about it a bit?
Sure. There's definitely different ways to approach nodes, whether that's setting up your own hardware or virtual hardware to become a validator on blockchain, or whether that's through investing in node projects such as Stronghold or Flux. And so the big part of this is we're going to leave it up to the community. We'll have proposals, and then we'll set out guidelines, through our own research, and take in information from our community, suggestions on what we believe to be the best investments, and then allow the community to vote, and they'll decide where we go. So when he says we don't know, it's just that we want to have a decentralized process and allow the community to voice their opinion.
Okay, so given, let's say the community makes a vote, we won't use any specific coin that the community may vote on for the node to be used for, but how does that mining system essentially tie back into Shiburai and benefiting its holders?
Oh yeah, most certainly. So along with that voting process, we'll have some parameters set up based on the revenue gained. Let's say the community may vote to have 30% compounded back. Well, let's say we end up delegating on Polygon. Let's just throw that out as an option. And say there's 11 to 13% APY. Well, then the revenue gained will return whatever portion has been decided by the community to the community, and then auto compound the rest to stake at a higher reward level. Hopefully that just gives you one example that makes it clear.
Does it?
Yeah, I like that idea. Would there potentially be a proposal? Is it possible to have a proposal that the node works and mines your own native token, so then enabling like a burn or maybe adding to the LP in that way?
Well, that's pretty interesting.
So are you referring to possibly using the revenue to buy back our token and then burn it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
And then is there a possibility that you could, since Leo, you are Leo's the god according
Yes.
to VC when it comes to
No,
coding.
let's not
Yeah.
say that.
Is
Say
it
genius, king, man among
Is
men.
it-
Say all those.
I work really hard.
Is it possible that you would be able to mine your own Shiburai token,
Well,
therefore removing supply in that way?
yeah, so our supply it was set out. There is no mint function. We're set to our launch supply of 7 million, and we've already ran a test burn with V2, which burned about 6,000 tokens. The way people will be able to mine Shiburai currently is through our staking incentives, which are the spirit training, which is where if you're able to stake your Shiburai for committed lengths of time, and then there'll be different boosts to your APY based on that. And then the same with the imbuement, which is NFT staking, where you'll be able to deposit or stake your NFTs on the platform to gain more Shiburai that way. Our supply will never expand. It'll never inflate. We believe heavily in a deflationary model. Concentrating your liquidity into smaller amounts of tokens, it only benefits everyone that's involved with the project, and it makes the long-term scalability of investment more attractive as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Did I answer your
Thank you,
question,
sir.
Michael?
I feel like that was well rounded. Yeah.
Yes, it did. I can go ahead and pass this off to someone else if anyone else has a question.
Okay, thank you.
I do. So VC, can you hear me guys well?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, great. So I got actually two questions. It's not a technical question, so it's just like a question about like how you guys are going to encourage the community to grow this project with you. Okay.
Sure.
Is it clear, or do you want me to just like explain this more?
You can explain it more. I may not tell you the
Okay.
exact ways we're going to do it. Go for it.
Fine. Okay. And the second question is about the marketing plan. Is there any continuous marketing plan that you're working on and you're just like chasing right now, or you're still planning it and you're still working on it step by step?
Yep, we are executing on a marketing plan. Always, all ears are open, sir. Both ears. Feel free to suggest.
No, it's not about suggestions. I just wanted to know how you guys are like, like I've looked at the roadmap. It looks like you guys are working on marketing. So just like wanted to know, I mean, like part of marketing is like you are here right now. And that's great that you just like spotting the project to other investors. And that's great, as I said. But I also want to know what is the plan for, let's say, the upcoming
Absolutely.
month, or yeah.
Absolutely. So we followed a couple other really successful projects in their vesting model and how they created a vest. We then made it longer and we made it more intense. And we added the biggest names in crypto we could find to the backing list. So the backers of the project are large and they're interested and they want it to do well. That's why you've seen so many calls for Shiburai. If you look on Twitter and other places, you will see a plethora of calls for us. So we're executing on the marketing. I would say after you go from 10 cents to $28 and down to a lull as the marketer, what I would say is we're in this consolidation period where once we have some development pieces, which are coming rapidly, that helps us get out. And then we have a whole bunch of other stuff based on some other success. So I am working really hard to emulate other people's success in the industry who repeat it. And they're my friends, and I've had some success myself. So we're sort of repeating and also iterating on really solid models for the backers. And then also as we develop things, I think at this point, if you're talking to other savvy investors, they'll say, yeah, they need some development. We have it coming. 4 out of 5 contracts are done for investing in the token locking. And the swap is on the way this week or next. So we're moving really fast on that stuff. So what I would say is we're in a really good position to then start marketing and telling the story of the development.
Sorry, your voice isn't clear enough, VC. Am I the only one who's facing this? Yeah.
Can you guys not hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Who can hear? Who can hear?
Now we can. You were very far away a minute ago.
Oh. I'm just in my office. I apologize. Can you guys hear me?
We do. We can hear you right now. It's clear.
Okay. Where do I need to start from?
You were talking about the swap, like the last point that I heard.
Yep. So we did a 280x from launch on a stealth launch, from 10 cents to $28. Now we're hanging out around 50 to 80x if you're looking at the chart, which it sounds like you are. So I'm trying to talk to you based on that. In terms of marketing, where we are 4 or 5 days in, 2 days into V2, roughly speaking, 5 to 6 days into the whole contract, we're in a consolidation phase. And we're focused on some other really high producing token projects that crushed it. And they're part of the team. They're not here for various reasons, but they're helping us with what we're doing. So in terms of a marketing plan, we have some of the best marketers in crypto helping to scale this. And again, if you go to Twitter or Telegram or Discord, you'll see that. And then we're also working to expand that list of folks who are really interested in being on the ground floor of the project. Because with FujiSwap, we're gonna relentlessly make a solid product. And so it benefits all of us if we get everybody in on the ground floor. They make them think it's their idea, and then we can build from there. So in terms of the marketing plan, it started with the backers. It's continuing with development. You'll have some big pieces as we finish development. So as the token locker, like Team Finance or Unicrypt, our version, the Shiburai Armory, as that token locker is complete and we get people to use it, which is going to be right away, we're going to market those successes. Right? Hey, why don't you come use our actual service? And those services create fees, and those fees help to feed the whole system of what we're doing with Shiburai. So in terms of the marketing plan, we're definitely executing on a codified marketing plan based on some other big successes I'm not going to name. And those folks are helping us with this project. And part of the reason I can't name them is because we're working closely with them. That makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Of course, I appreciate the question. It's a good one.
Yeah, I got a question. I'm gonna kind of circle back to this FujiSwap. I was in and out. I know that you said it should be out in a couple of weeks. I don't want to put an exact date on that, but has that swap been stress tested? And what are the average fees looking like? Are they still running off of like the same blockchain as Ethereum fees and gas prices? Or
Leo, do you want to talk about fees?
Yeah, certainly. So it is going to be a cross-chain swap. We're going to try and expand on every EVM we can get our hands on, and we'll start on Ethereum. And so the gas fees on Ethereum are based on the function calls and the contract. So that for one, that'll be dependent on the token that launches on our swap, how complicated each data transaction gets recorded as. Our fees for the actual transaction itself on the swap will be less than Uniswap. I believe they're 0.3%. We won't be much less. We want to be competitive. And then we want to use those in very specific ways to incentivize LP holders, sponsor projects, as well as return revenue to our Shiburai holders.
Does that make sense?
yes, it makes sense. And then has the swap been stress tested? I know you said you have, I believe, like 2 or 3 projects coming out when you guys release, and then like 20 more. So will it be able to handle the traffic that it actually gains?
We'll be scaling with production level services, but obviously we haven't stress tested. It doesn't exist, brother. You know that answer. But yes, we're scaling with production level services, not AWS. Someone who knows Ivan on tech, Morales.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, thank you.
I've got a couple questions, again, following up on the swap feature. I actually happen to be an old school eViral holder, so I've kind of, I guess, been with you guys for a bit. So I know that there's a partnership there with eViral and dViral, and I'm assuming those will be tokens that'll be available on the swap as it opens up. I also was, a Shiba holder when they opened up Shiba Swap, and the volume was high for a couple of weeks, and then it kind of has been dead ever
Correct.
since.
Correct.
So, what are your plans to kind of ensure ongoing volume?
I can't
that's my
tell you,
question
and
one.
I want you to be bullish on the fact that I can't tell you. I am in league with a whole bunch of developers, and I honestly wish I could tell you. I wish I could show you my conversations with the devs, with these other guys, mostly guys who are going to launch some stuff on our swap. I can
Okay.
guarantee you Leap Lottery is going to relaunch. I can guarantee you a few others are going to relaunch, but it doesn't really do you any good. I have no way of assuring you. I can't actually tell you their names, and I can't actually tell you the projects, to be honest. It's definitely the case. We have multiple folks who are backing the project who've already reached out about the token locker, and they're very interested in the swap. So I've made a deal with one consulting dev. He's agreed to do, roughly speaking, 2 per month with us. So that's 24. And then on top of our, roughly speaking, 5 or 6 consulting. So, I don't have a good answer for you. What I will tell you is I'm insanely competitive, and we're not building a Shiba swap. It's sort of like, I wish I could call it DeFi swap, because we have so many folks in DeFi who are going to use it because it makes sense to use it for them. So I don't have a good answer for you. I'd be lying if I did. And also, I can't quite tell you. I definitely have relationships with a number of developers who have agreed, and I can't fully explain why it's going to work out well. I wish I could. DeFi is a strange place. But what I'll tell you is I have looked at Shiba Swap. I've looked at Ape Swap. I've looked at a whole bunch of new swaps. The list is long. And my interest is not in making a defunct thing that has a rise for like a couple months and then it dies. Leo and I are very different than that. So we're focused on kind of peak. So if we're looking at peak, we're looking at, okay, is it in the first month, first couple weeks? No, it's beyond that. So so we're focused on a huge amount of volume, to tell you the truth. And I am not able to tell you how we're going to achieve it.
I would like to throw in a little bit of information.
Go for it, Leo.
So one of the driving factors for Swap's success is their ability to attract liquidity providers. I think if you look at the Binance Smart Chain, ApeSwap was able to capture a lot of liquidity that was on PancakeSwap previously, and I mean for major projects as well, such as Phantom, their whole liquidity basically migrated over to ApeSwap, and there are others. So I think structuring our fee and creating an ecosystem that benefits LP holders is very important, and that's what we're aiming to do. And we had also mentioned part of our fees will be going towards sponsoring projects, and maybe that actually means in sponsoring a project to move their liquidity to our swap, if that's what comes through governance in our community, and that makes sense with the partnership. I think that those two things alone will definitely help gain more traction on our own swap.
Yeah, it's hard to put it into words, but if Leo and I are going to do it, it's going to make a ton of money.
And just a follow-up question. I see that obviously you guys are developing a lot of partnerships for tokens that are going to be on the swap. And how are you going to bring people in to using the swap? I understand there are marketing plans and you're growing a community. But for this to really take off, you're going to need people obviously to use it. So, can you talk about the coins
The marketing
that people will be able to swap? And also,
So
that's the question.
Let me put it out like this, right? When Leo and I said we're going to make a freelancer profile, a freelancer platform for for DeFi, a number of people copied us, a number of people rugged. When we said we were doing a sister token, if you know, right, you've been with us, how many people copied us, how many people rugged? We continue to actually create real things, and everyone else continues to say they're going to do something like us and then rug. So, I am very focused on a real marketing strategy that's, to be frank, it's diabolical. I'm focused on retargeting, dropping pixels. I'm focused on making sure I follow people around and show them 12 touches. I'm focused on getting them into my swap. So I'm not going to tell you exactly how it's going to happen. There's a good deal of bringing people from the top of the funnel down to the bottom and focusing on the bottom, and then retargeting. And then again, Leo and I have created a platform that allows us to advertise for a platform and not a crypto. So right there, we can robustly advertise for the platform and not a crypto. And we can be guiding those folks as we drop a pixel towards the right things we want. Again, I'm not going to go into this fully, but yeah, we definitely are focused on a robust marketing strategy once we're ready
So
to
real
go.
quick, I just want to throw that out there. I know we have a lot of potential investors on this call, and as VC had mentioned, there are a lot of people that are watching us and then trying to produce products that are similar. Just please make sure that if you're interested in investing with us in Shiburai, that you use our official links. I think there's already close to 10 or maybe even more now.
There's 15,
scam
but there's like
tokens.
16 scams.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so we have a lot of eyes on us. So just please use our official links on our website or come into our Telegram and look at our pinned post.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that if you join us, that it's a good first start for you and that you
Yeah.
don't fall victim to these way too many scammers that are out
Yeah.
there.
And back to the marketing question, it's a really good question. Like, I actually want to talk to you investors and tell you the deal. I can't tell you my full plan because I believe half of you will rip me off, because that's my experience in DeFi, being fully transparent and being completely honest. Based on the last 6 months of us being public, people will rip us off. So what we do is we try to expose in the white paper exactly where we're headed, and then whoever gets it, let's go. And that's where we're headed. I don't feel like it's important to let you know the exacts. I will tell you, I'm one of the top performing marketing representatives for any company I've ever worked for, and the few companies I've started have done fantastically well, mostly because of marketing. So I'm very focused on marketing. DeFi is a great place for me to be and Leo to be, and we're focused on it. But I'm done making the mistake of telling you all exactly my plan. What a savvy community. Not gonna, but that's where we're
I do want to take a second and just give you a shout out and say thank you for sticking with us for so long, getting in early with us in eViral and continuing to stay with us. It's really exciting to hear from members who have been with us for a while. So thank you for the
appreciate
question.
you. Very much appreciate you.
Well, as most people here know, I'm a holder. I don't really, so, I try to invest in things that I believe in, and I did see that you guys continued to work, and I appreciated that. So that's why I stuck around, and I'm glad to see that it's morphing and expanding in the way that it is. So
really
congratulations.
is. I hope you're still holding.
Yeah, congratulations. I am. So congratulations on what you've done so far. And just a quick final question, just because this is an AMA and people will want to know, it is a cross-chain swap. Can you just list the chains that you'll include?
Well, it's the 5 chains.
Yeah. So we're starting on Ethereum. I'm not sure what we'll expand to immediately after, but obviously Phantom, BSC, Polygon, perhaps Hecko. What am I missing?
You're not missing anything, bro. It's 5 with Morales right now.
Avalanche.
Well, that's if C chain makes perfect sense.
Yeah, of course. Really, we want to have our swap available on every EVM, and we'll take it in steps. I think rushing out and trying to spread ourselves too thin immediately is a bad plan. But we have a dev that's come on board with our team who's very good at bridging assets as well, and we're hoping to begin our journey here on Ethereum and just migrate and update the team as we go. And perhaps even the team can have that as a proposal as which in the order of chains they'd like us to expand on as we move forward.
For sure. It's relatively simple. It's a good idea. Any other questions, guys?
How's it going?
We're here, Ryan. We're here.
Nice to meet you, VC. Just a couple questions. When you were talking investing models, why do you think this is the best model?
This is the best model. For the DAF, for the Dynamic Access Fund?
However, it was just in the beginning where you're modeling your vesting model off the best methods used in DeFi or in crypto thus far. Are you taking methods from what are blue chips, or are you taking methods from DeFi? What sector are you really
Absolutely. Can I fully understand what you're asking about? Are you asking for the vesting schedule of the backers of the program? Are you asking for how we should spend the 500K that we've raised in the DAF?
No, I'm specifically asking about why is the whatever vesting model that gives you the best performance over time. If you can just kind of
vesting for
outline why that is. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry,
Absolutely.
my bad.
You know what? Michael deserves all the praise in the world for getting me on here. And what I'll tell you is this is really hard fought wisdom, to be honest. I got it from the I can't say. I got it from some folks who've run programs that hit $1 billion or plus market cap. So multiple marketers who've hit $1 billion plus market cap, launching from way less than $1 billion. And so, and I've been a part of some things. The point is, but I really tried to listen and to understand what those vesting models were and what's the right way to create ours. And in conversations with a recent huge success, the marketer responsible, him and I had multiple conversations with, he's responsible for a fantastic token that's doing great. So him and I wish I could tell you his name. I am committed to being a good dude in DeFi and making sure that if somebody's working on a project and they're going to go ahead and work with us and give us good feedback and all that, I'm not going to throw them under the bus. But if I said the name, you'd be like, oh, I get it. So I listened to him and we talked and we iterated and we actually created a different vesting model than he had been a part of before. It was based on success, but it was new. And so we made a new vesting model, 8 weeks long, strict sell rules, blah, blah, blah. And we've already asked some people and it's working out quite well. Yep, it's based on success. That's what I can say for sure.
No, I appreciate the description. Really good. So with the swap market being, extremely saturated, I understand you have a lot of these components that you've described as being unique and differentiated amongst different swaps. What would be the number one thing that you think leads to your success? Specifically, kind of going towards, you made the comment earlier about your uncle being a VC, and I just, I come from that world too. I just want to, understand why you believe this type of.
Do you want me to give you an answer that makes
or
you feel
smart? Wait, one second.
Go ahead.
Why is this smart capital, and why are they going to hold your project?
Oh boy. Well, as a person who's worked with VCs, where they bet on 10 projects and only one of them has to do well, and then they're fantastically rich because of it. I find that model crazy, right? I'm really focused on things that work, and I've become rich because of it. So my focus is to continue to build DeFi because I think it needs to be built. I don't have a VC model in the back of my head. I don't want to bet on 10 things and one of them works. That's not my model. I understand it can work, but that's not my model. And so it took a long time, to tell you the truth, to find Leo and Tala and some others. It took a long time and a lot of money. And so the reason why this is smart capital, I have I don't like saying any of this to any new investors. I don't want to say anything like this, but what I'll tell you is Leo is, you're all pretty lucky to be on the phone with him. I mean, I'm lucky to be on the phone with him. Never mind investing with him. This is true, Leo. We're all pretty lucky to be on the phone with him. To tell you the God's honest truth. We're lucky to be on the phone. We're lucky to be in this call, to be honest. And if you happen to be crazy enough to get into a situation with us with Shiburai, you're lucky. That's what I'll tell you. I don't really. I'm not going to give you a numbers-based solution because that would involve 10 projects and 9 of them should die and 1 of them should rise, in my mind, for being real. But so if we're being sort of why, I don't really know. I don't like to play those games. Leo is
I
one of the
wouldn't mind
smartest people I've ever
speaking up
met.
a bit.
He's one of the most active people in DeFi. You use his tools. He knows everything you've ever, like, he's really crazy smart. And we're developing programs that are going to help DeFi. We see Uniswap coming up with VPN issues, coming up with nonsense V3 craziness. We see, we see the bridge going away on PancakeSwap, and we say, okay, let's fill in the gaps here. So, we really want to support DeFi.
I would also like to add, I know we're very focused right now on the conversation surrounding our swap, and I think that's more so because we just launched the name and that it let everyone know it's underway. But really, our whole project is about finding avenues to return value to holders. Our big pitch really is the DAF fund and allowing our investors to be smart and to vote and to figure out where best to follow with the guidelines we put forth and in the investments, whether it be a high risk NFT or more of a stable delegation to a blockchain for lower but stabler risk, whether it's our NFTs through reselling and fees being returned, the swap returning fees, our suite of services that right now include various vesting and liquidity locking contracts. We're really reaching out in every direction we can find to find a way to generate fees from this model to return to our holders and really build such a strong community that people are proud of, even give them NFTs they'll be able to brandish in virtual worlds for those that like that, or if they look cool enough, they can sell it and make a profit. So we're trying to reach in many directions, not just with the swap, but we do plan on making the swap very successful. I think the key there is through partnerships, and if there are upcoming projects that build a lot of hype and excitement, they do well, they launch on our swap. You have to swap there for the liquidity pair, and it's a seamless, very easy experience to follow through with. I think all of this really culminates in a scalable project that people have fun and profit at the same time in the DeFi space.
Got it. I appreciate it.
Guys, I'm concerned about Leo. He's been on here for a while. I got to get him on this swap. We got to get him back to the swap. We got some marketing things as well. We got to get on. It's
one
been
more
about an hour and 5.
One more question, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What industry did Leo come from? Was it IT always, or was he, multidisciplinary?
Can I say one thing? Can I say nuclear physics? What do you think, Leo? Is that all right? Can I say that? Nuclear. Wait, I'll sound smarter, right?
No, it's cool. We all got nuclear engineer friends, but
yeah, we all got those backgrounds, right?
Yeah, actually, my technical background started in aircraft avionics, troubleshooting, doing repair diagnostics, fixing radar equipment, all sorts of stuff. That's been a few years now. I don't want to say how long because I don't want to give away my age, but
there you go,
that's really where my technical career began.
Not trying to dox you, and I appreciate you guys very much for answering those questions. Have a great evening.
Appreciate you so much. This was really great for us.
Yeah, no, VC, Leo, you guys, tremendous job. I mean, we always tend to have a lot of questions, and I'm sure that we can keep going through this process all night. So if you don't mind, I'd like to steer people towards your Telegram. I've posted that in our chat and pinned it along with the DEX tools chart and everything. So I just wanted to just congratulate you guys. Like, amazing project. I'm truly blown away by reading through everything and pretty excited to see what's to come, right? And I know a lot of us are here on the call, but with that said, I want to conclude tonight, and what we'll do from here is, dismiss and part ways as friends for a moment, and then our community will talk amongst each other and decide if we want to make this one of our official picks moving forward. But guys, seriously, tremendous job. You did amazing.
Appreciate you so much. Certic audit has been paid for. It's on the way. Form submitted.
I just want to say thank you, Taylor, and everyone here that's part of DeFi Angels that have given us questions and given us a platform to reach out and talk to everyone on. It's been a pleasure. I wish you all a happy new year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy.
Cheers. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.